Hi guys, it's Haley.
And Sophie.
And we're going to be doing a freshman tips video again.
Yes.
So we did one last year, and it has basically all the info that you would need. This is just kind of building on it for like questions that we had.
Yeah, because we're juniors this year, and we were sophomores last year, and so last year was kind of like different advice, and so this year we're doing like all different things. And so if you want to watch the other one, then it's going to be in the description. And it is just basically extra advice from this video. So.
We're also going to put the links to our first day of school outfits from this year and last year so that you guys can get ideas. I know I always love watching those videos.
Yes.
So we're going to have my phone right here so we can look at
notes. And yeah.
So, the first day of school, you should ride with a friend, and that's what I did. My best friend Zaria, we both were kind of nervous, and so we're just like, oh, let's just carpool together. And so, for the very first, week of school, I'd say, we just would pick her up and then drive to the school.
So, for the first day of school, or just literally any day of school, if you come to school early, then usually they want you to be at a certain place, instead of going to your class extra early or just walking around the hallways. Because I know at our school they make us go to either the cafeteria or the courtyard outside the cafeteria. And so I don't know, they're really strict about it this year. If you're out of place or if you're at your locker or if you're in the bathroom or something, they'll give you referrals and stuff like that. So just make sure you know where to go in the mornings and stuff like that. And if you are if you're driving with someone or something, you can chill out in the car in the parking lot and just figure out where to.
So for our school, I'm pretty sure it's the same kind of deal for every school. So they'll give you a schedule at your open house. They'll send it to you in the mail or whatever. But then on the first day we have our purple schedule, and that's just to make sure everything's finalized. It's different colors. I think last year was yellow, but it's normally school colors or something like that. And so you'll just have to check. They usually have a list of your last names, and then it'll say maybe A through B.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to this room, and then you just find it and you go. And they're not gonna care if you're late on the first week of school, because they know you're still getting lost and whatnot. Nobody's gonna care. They're not gonna judge you.
And then they give you the real finalized schedule and stuff like that, and then you can just go to your next class. Yeah.
They normally will have signs around the school. For our school, it's usually in the corners, on the top, but you can also see they'll have a little plate on the door. But always look at the tops and the sides. They'll have arrows pointing. Yeah. The walls. And it was so funny when we were freshmen. We'd ask the teachers where we would go, and I swear they'd be okay, you're gonna take a left, take another left, take a right, spin around in a circle, go down the stairs,
go up the stairs, go down again. You're there.
You're right there.
Where?
I know. And so you just be wait, what? Where? So just if that happens, you just ask one teacher and be okay, well, take a left. And once you take a left, ask another teacher.
Yeah, because then they'll actually be able
to be one to another.
To your spot. And
yes.
Stuff like that.
They also will give you a map, and I know a lot of people take the highlighter and do your route, but at the same time you don't want to carry it around because it's hard to read when you're walking.
And there's so many people, and you're gonna annoy them.
Yeah. That's the only reason that upperclassmen, I think, get the most annoyed is when it's clogged up in the hallways. I know that used to make me really mad.
My God.
It's because there would just be this big clog of people, and you're shoving through.
Oh my gosh, I remember if it was freshman year or something in the hallway, it was literally so packed. We have this one hallway in our school, and it is always so packed you can barely move. And I remember one year, for some reason, I don't know what happened, but everyone just stopped walking, and everyone just started pushing each other, and we all started swaying palm trees, and everybody was screaming really loudly, and all the teachers are what's going on? And eventually the teachers and stuff just started throwing students out of the whole palm tree mess, and everyone's go to your classes. Why is everybody just standing around? I don't know what happened. I was laughing so hard.
For our school, the other thing, it's also different for each thing, but we have north, south, west, east for the different hallways. So there's a W hallway, and then usually if you have like your classroom starts with a 1, you're on the first floor.
Yeah.
It starts with 2, second floor.
It's like a hotel.
Yeah, but we have like Northwest, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it'll be different, but I'm sure most schools are kind of like around that, and so you'll just have to pay attention to which section is which, because I know that also gets pretty confusing when you're starting out.
Yeah. Okay.
So usually they'll have a freshman camp. Yeah. I know I signed up for that. She didn't, but
I did. I went in freshman year.
Oh, you went freshman year, but I was like helping doing it, and
yeah, she's like volunteer work for the last million years.
So basically, what we would do is you get like community service hours for it, and you will like design a room for your freshmen, and then you come up with some icebreakers for your freshmen to do, and then we take you around the school and we show you like how to get to this class, or not this class, but like how to get to the gym, how to get to the cafeteria, that type of stuff. But I know there are several orientations if they don't have that. Like I'm in cheerleading, and we have to go to every one of those, and there's like 4 for one class of freshmen. It's crazy. So if you go to all of those, though, you're gonna be fine. But I know not all schools do that type of camp, but find out. I didn't get to go my freshman year, and I wish I could have, but
it was just like it was just like it's like a one afternoon sort of thing where you just like, you show up at noon or however early they want you to come, and then they just like, they put you in your little groups and they show you around, and it's like a really great way to like make friends and like, see people from your old like middle school or something like that and be like, oh, hey, like show me your schedule and stuff like that. So, yeah.
The teacher was getting mad at me because my group was too loud. And she's like, they're being disrespectful, this and this. I'm like, I don't want them to be nervous. Go ahead and talk. Just don't be disrespectful. Go
exactly.
For it.
Like, you just gotta have fun with it and just...
Yeah. Don't be afraid to walk alone. Like, it doesn't matter what grade you are. It is so annoying when there's that girl like, oh my God, walk me to the bathroom. I can't walk to the bathroom alone.
And then also, like, don't be afraid of, like, sitting alone. Like, if you walk into class and you don't see anyone you know, chances are someone you know just hasn't walked in yet.
Yeah.
So just, like, sit anywhere and don't be, like, freaking out and being like, can I sit with you guys? Where am I? I don't know. Oh, my God, help me. And, like, just, like, relax and just, like,
take a chill pill.
Chill.
Don't eat in the bathroom. My teacher
was talking in the bathroom.
She was talking about there were some girls that were like literally sitting on the floor eating, and she's like, that is so unsanitary. Our bathrooms are so disgusting.
Don't do that. We didn't write that down, but please. If we have any advice, if you want to take anything away, don't eat in the bathroom.
This is not Mean Girls. But like, if you can't find anybody after the first 2 weeks of school, which you're gonna find somebody, you can always eat in the library. I know when exams are, like, I'll sit in the library kind of by myself, and you can just kind of do whatever you want. You just work on your stuff, and they don't care. You just usually sign in. And don't try to fit in, like, nobody cares. High school is so much different than middle school.
It's like a big melting pot.
Mature. Yeah, it's like the weird kids talk to the popular clique or whatever. Like, there's just
like the sporty kids and the artsy kids, and like everybody just kind of like blends together.
Like,
so,
they just
don't try to fit into one stereotype, and don't be afraid to just be yourself, because you're gonna have friends no matter what happens. Like, if you're like the weirdest kid at school, there's probably another weird kid, and you guys can be best friends. Yep, here we go. Best friends forever. Oh yeah, dress code loopholes. I'm your expert. Basically, I wore this to school today.
Stand up and show them.
My skirt goes down to here, but when I walk it, like, it rides.
Tell them a story about the teacher.
Oh, yeah, so basically, our school really cracked down on dress code this year.
You basically have to be, like, right
it has to be
your knee.
right at the knee.
Like, right here. I had a dress that was to here, and my coach was like, that's not a dress code.
And you can't wear sleeveless shirts, but I wore a cardigan with it, and they let you get away with, like, cardigans and sleeveless shirts.
As long as you don't take it off.
Yeah, just, like, sometimes your teachers will be like, oh, like, they, I'll tell you more about this in a minute, but, like, anyway, the story, so I'm, like, sitting there, and I wore this outfit today because I knew that, like, none of the teachers I had today were really going to care about dress code, because you want to get to school, you want to be in dress code for the first couple days, and then once you find out, like, what kind of teachers you have and if they're okay with you breaking dress code or not, because, like, I've seen girls in my class that are wearing, like, lace bras and weird stuff, and I'm just like, well, okay, and the teachers...
You don't want to make a bad first impression, so make sure you, like, You're not getting yourself in trouble.
And the teachers, so if the teachers, call out other people with dress code, then you probably don't want to wear, something out of dress code on a certain day. So I knew that all my teachers today were going to be cool with, a slightly shorter skirt than dress code. And, if I decided to take off my cardigan if it got too hot, it just didn't matter. So I'm, sitting there in history, and my history teacher, he, walks in, and he's just, he's looking around the room, and he's like, I'm just trying to make sure that no one's out of dress code. And since my skirt, rides up when I sit down.
To the side.
And when it rides up when I sit down. And I was he's I'm just trying to make sure no one's out of dress code. And I was ah! And I was trying to pull it down to make sure I didn't get in trouble. And I was sitting there like this. And I had my backpack on my knees. And I'm no one's out of dress code.
You won't notice.
Yeah. So, do that.
Okay, so for lockers, they usually, for us, they did it, I think, okay, so we had school Thursday and Friday for the first week, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's boring days, for sure.
All they do is talk about rules and...
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah, so then what you'll have, bring $3 to school. That's what it is at our school. It might be different. Maybe bring 5. They'll have change and everything. And our lockers are probably about this big, just enough to do your textbooks, but then you also have a little extra space.
I know at other schools they have way bigger lockers than we do, so if you are fortunate enough to have a big locker, try to take that opportunity, because I think half the kids at our school would literally kill for big lockers, because we have no room in our lockers, which I never get a locker, and it's never really been an issue before. I just kind of I've never really had a class where I needed to take a huge textbook back and forth. And if I did, it's only one per day, and it's just not a big deal to me. And yeah.
So for me, what I did was for this year, I got my locker, because what they do is they have, each teacher has a section of lockers, and then whoever, for us, it's 5th period, they'll be okay, who wants a locker? And you'll get whatever section that your teacher has.
Yeah.
But then you can go and change it later. So that's what I did sophomore year, is I found which classes I had that I needed textbooks every day, and then I found a class, a locker group that was in between. So what I recommend doing is to get a locker when they ask for it, and then later you can change it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And then randomly talk to people.
People
aren't going to give you dirty looks.
Yeah, just don't be afraid to just lean over to someone and be this teacher is so stupid. And then they're going to be I feel you.
I feel you, man. I feel
you. Next thing you know, you'll be sitting together at lunch, and then you'll figure out that you have 2 other classes with them, and then you guys are friends. It's just how it works. It's just how you make friends. You just talk to people.
If not, everyone is just so outgoing. Don't even worry about it. I think we covered this in our first video, but everyone is trying to make friends. I remember that. Everyone was just trying to talk to each other, especially freshman year. But every year that you're in high school, people are oh my god, I need to find somebody to talk to. Because when you get your schedule, you're why do I have no classes with my friends? But then you get into class and you're oh, I know this person, this person.
Yeah, and then even then, if you don't end up sitting with them, if there's a seating chart or something, just talk to people, make friends. It's not
especially freshman year, the first month of school, everyone's trying to make friends. Everyone just wants to have lots of friends, and as long as you just take it in and you're okay, I want to make friends too, people are gonna come to you.
Yeah.
I had no friends. Honestly, I had no friends in middle school.
Same.
And now I know so many people. I know 3 or 4 people in all of my classes, every class.
Yeah, it's only our. Today was our 5th day of school, and I've already made tons of new friends, and I'm a junior, and so it just shows you that no matter what grade you're in, and no matter what year or whatever, people want to make friends, and it's no matter what, it's one of those kind of things.
All right, so I think that's all we have.
Yep.
We can answer any questions you have down below. Don't be afraid to ask. And
so thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, we'll have the link down below of all of our back to school videos. Check our first question tips.
And thank you guys for watching.
All right, bye.
Swag.